Right, we're going to start in the house. We're going to start off with sending him to his bed, okay, which we would always do actually when the dogs are eating and when people come in the house especially. But it can be used anytime really. It can be used when you've had enough of him, perhaps you're doing the cleaning, you want to put him on it, those sorts of things. So just use it sort of as and when. The command we're going to give him is just one command, that's going to be bed. Alright, and just sort of going to direct it with my hand really and just to put him on it. A lot of this video is going to be mostly about what to do when the dog doesn't do it right. It is going to be part of the hand signals and the commands, but most of it comes down to what you need to do if Monty doesn't follow it through. Okay, and it's quite simple, but we just need to make sure that when we're telling dogs to do things that we're really, really consistent. We're going to ask him one time to do it, and if he doesn't do it, we're either going to take him there or we're going to put him into a position, so he has to follow it through basically. And only by doing that will he maintain the way he's been trained and also maintain that kind of high level of obedience for you. I'm not going to use any treats for this bit at the moment, although we will use some outside. You can use treats for this, it's not a problem, but we just don't need to in the house. You're not going to obviously be using treats for them too much in the house, although you may do at the beginning just to sort of get it into him a little bit, but for now we're just going to use it without treats. Mons, come on, good boy, bed. Right, so as you see there, it's got on this bed lovely, that's exactly what we're looking for. Bed. We can keep repeating bed to him there, just to tell him that he's doing it right. Bed, bed, bed. He has to effectively stay on that bed now, until we've told him otherwise. Alright? So I'm just going to sort of walk away from him a little bit and make sure he stays there. And he is fine. You should be able to actually go out and do other things. You should be able to leave him on there when you've got stairs, for instance, or if you're in the kitchen. Anything you want, really. You can really keep him on there as much as you like, and he has to stay on there. He has to stay on there until he's heard the OK command, alright? And I'm going to give him that in a minute, and that will tell him that he's finished it now. If he comes off, though, before that, he's then going to get a negative, alright? And that negative is going to be a verbal negative for him, alright? It's just going to be an ah sound, alright? And you're basically going to guide him back onto the bed. But you're going to do it firm enough so he understands that coming off was the wrong thing. And actually, at this sort of stage with the training, if he does come off, just the word and the should be enough. And they will then kind of like usher him back on the bed rather than sort of taking hold of him at all. Alright, so I'm going to give him the OK now. OK. And then he can come off. Alright. And that's the bed finished. The next stage is the kitchen. What we're going to do is we're going to send him out of the kitchen in a minute. And this can be really useful for obviously when you're cooking and things, or just when you just don't want him, around you, sort of when you're preparing food or such like. Most of the time he will actually just come down and do what he's done there, which is just come and sort of lie in here with you. But if you didn't want him in here or he's getting under your feet, then you can send him out. You'll be able to do this with lots of different rooms, and we will go over that in your own house. Okay, so when I come and we do the handover, I'll do a practice with him on each room and put him out of each room. Okay, so you can send him out whenever you like of any room you want to. The command's just going to be out, so I'll just demonstrate that for you now. Remember, if he doesn't go out, then I'm going to give him the and then I'm going to usher him out. Alright, I'm going to demonstrate that for you in a moment. Monty, out. Good, so what Monty does is basically just goes in there and lies in the doorway for you instead. Alright, depends on sort of how much you sort of want to do it with him. Obviously, his front legs are in there. If you wanted to, you could basically push him out a little bit more and he would go out. Alright, Monty, out. Right, out. Out. Go out. Good boy. He's like, this is where I stand. Go out. Good boy. Out. Good times, Monty. So there we are. That's what Monty likes to do. He stays there by the door. When we want to let him back in again, we're going to give him the OK. OK. And then you can come back in. Alright, and that tells him that he can do it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him another command. And it's going to be a random command. I'm going to use the command bananas. Alright, and I'm going to pretend that was the command, just so I can show you how you would usher him out, so if he didn't respond to it. Alright, so you would be like, Monty, bananas! And then you would go, and you would push him out, like that. Alright, good, bananas, effectively. Alright, but obviously it's out, 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 okay. And then you can come back in. Alright. He's been trained to not come up the stairs either, so if I wander up the stairs, he won't come up. If you do want him to come up in your own house, it'll be fine. We'll just OK him up. Alright, basically the same command again, so it's that OK, it's this release command. Alright, tells him that what he can do, you've effectively told him he can't go up the stairs. So by saying the OK, it tells him that he can come up, but he won't come up of his own accord. Alright, so I could wander up there now and he won't come up. I'm not going to demonstrate it for you because I think we saw that actually when you came around, but he does it, it's fine. Alright, the other thing is going out of the house. Alright, and we're going to give him a no command so he doesn't come out. And then when we want him to come out, we can give him an okay. This is actually slightly different from how you're going to take him out for a walk though. This would be like if you are just generally going out and you were putting the bins out, for instance, you'd be able to stop him from going out the door rather than him just bolting past you all the time. Alright, so you come to the door. In fact, Monty is because we've done it in the routine in such a way now that he won't come out anyway. Alright, no, but I would give him the no command there. And then when I wanted him to come out, I would go, okay, and he can come out. Alright, just like that. And it's the same coming back in as well. When you come home from the walk, you'll come home, you'll give him a no command here, and then Monty, no. So you'll give him the no there. Imagine you just come home, no, okay, and then he can come in. Alright, so the very simple commands. No stops him from doing it. Out obviously performs the command. The bed is the same, but whenever you want it to finish, you always give the same release command, which is okay, and it's always given in that high tone. Alright, that's because we don't often say the words like okay like that very frequently, so the dog won't pick up on other tones and accidentally think you've told him to release. Alright, so it's very clear to him that he's finished. So if we imagine now that the doorbell had gone, just to sort of go over how you would do it if the doorbell was to go. So the doorbell would go, my instant thought then would be Monty, come on then. And I would draw him in, and the camera person, and I would say bed. Alright, bed, good bed, bed, bed. You can then go to the door, you can let the person in the door, come on in the room. Obviously Monty's there. We would actually have the person come in. We did some of this actually when you came and saw him, but the person is meant to come in the house, be here for a couple of minutes, and then we let him off. It just makes a nice routine so the dog isn't the first person to see the stranger every time coming in. Obviously he's settled off now, he's waiting for me to give him the okay to let him off. So I can say the word okay to you like this without him picking up on it, okay, and now he'll come off because he's turned the other way. A couple of other things that we've obviously done with him are things like picking up, alright, so picking up items. He's actually opening and closing doors as well. I'm not sure how much of this you're going to take on with him, but I'll just very quickly run through how you would do it. I'm hoping that, I'm going to recommend a book to you anyway, which is 101 Dog Tricks, which I'm hoping that you might be able to just have some fun with really. You and your family have a bit of fun with just teaching him new stuff, because that's what he's brilliant at. He wants to do it, he wants to be with you. He wants, for food especially, whenever I get the food out for him and we start to do these things, he really perks up and he's like, yeah, let's do it. So I'd love it if, perhaps, and I think you mentioned at the beginning about wanting to do some more things with him. And you most certainly will with Monty. He's got the perfect temperament to teach to do tricks and all sorts. But when we do this kind of stuff, we need to have treats. So I'm going to go make some treats up now. So the treats that we've spoken about are things like, he doesn't need to come, things like the cocktail sausages. So I tend to just buy these kinds of things really. Alright, obviously these are from Asda, but you can get them from anywhere. Just cocktail sausages, you buy a pack of them up, you put them in the fridge, and they're there to use. The other thing you can obviously use is cheese, you can use chicken, ham, but I just find these are the easiest because you can take them out easily to cut up into little pieces and such like. So whenever you're doing anything with him, perhaps when you go out with him, alright, we're probably going to take sort of maybe about 5 sausages, only just because today we're going to do a little bit more. When you take them out on another day, even like 2 or 3 were probably enough. I usually cut them in half like that, and then along like this, okay? So one sausage is making 5, sort of 9 pieces there, or 8 pieces because I can't count, no that is 5, no that is... yeah, 10 actually, 10 pieces, because I can't count, yeah, there we go. So do that, I'm just going to make a few of them up. Okay, so now we're finished and it's all here. I specifically have sort of hoodies because I can put the food in the pouch. You can buy sort of special treat pouches and stuff to take the dog's treats out in, and it makes it a bit simpler, or into a pocket is absolutely fine. Alright, it's just obviously with the pouch it's a bit easier to get the treats out of. Perfect. So just going to distract him. Monty. That bit of food there. Right. So a couple of the in-house things we've been doing. I basically taught him to pick up items off the floor. All right. So be able to pick up all sorts of stuff for you. For instance, you may drop a pen, and the command we're going to give him is pick up. All right. If you don't want to pick up, you'd say no. All right. Just in case it was something you didn't want him to touch. All right. So pick up. Good. Let that drop. Good. And then he gives it to you. All right. Excellent. Just like that. You'll be walking out with your keys. Oh, pick up. Drop. Good. Just like that. You'll pick up anything basically. That's how it's been trained. Alright, so perhaps if you're doing your washing and a sock falls out behind you, you can get Monty to pick it up for you. Alright. Or if you're just being lazy, you can get him to pick up other things as well. I've taught him to fetch the remote for you, but we'll have to roll over a little bit of that when we do some training. Again, you know, if you don't want to take any of these things on, it's absolutely fine. I've just done it mostly to have fun with him, okay, and just to keep him occupied while he's been here. And also, it's just lovely to see him improve and work. So another thing that we've done with him is to get him to fetch the remote for you. All right, and it's over there by the telly at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give him the command remote and sort of usher him off in that direction, and hopefully he'll find it for us. Monty, remote, remote. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. And drop. Good boy. Good. So go and get a remote for you, just like that. Perfect. If you then were really lazy and you thought to yourself, do you know what I do? Do you know what I fancy doing? I don't fancy carrying this remote control around. You can say, take, like that. He'll take it from me. And you could walk around the house with it, with him. All right, drop. Good boy. Waiting for the drop command, and then he can have it like that. All right. He's also learned to shut the door as well. So if the door was there and you were feeling ultra lazy, you could just tell him to push. Monty, push. 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 Good boy. Just like that. Alright, and he'll close it for you. Working on a few other doors. Now he's going to go and bash the door again because that's how he thinks he's going to get the treat out of you, as you can see. Alright, fella. Good boy. Good boy. But that's basically how he's been trained. He's been trained to knock the door like that. Alright, until he shuts it. Let's not do it again, Monts. Thanks very much. We've also done it on a few of the other doors. So if you just wander into the kitchen with me. There will be a pull behaviour as well soon, so he'll be able to pull these open, but we'll just have a little look at it here. Mont, come here. Good boy. Monty, push. Push. Oh. Oh, that's not too bad. Good boy. Good boy. We didn't actually want you to have your foot on it, do we? Particularly Mont. Push. Push. Ah. Push. Good. Ah. Push. Good. 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 Good boy. So it's just mostly fun, as I say. That's all it is. Okay. We can do as much or as little as you like with him, but he certainly loves to do it. If I was to say him to do a down as well, we can use the command down and a hand signal. So it's like this, down. All right. And then he'll stay in that down until I give him the release command again. So that's how it works. I've told him to do something, i.e. this time it's a down, and he should remain in there. So he should be able to walk off, do other things, and he should remain in that down until I give him the okay. If he was to come out of the down before I've told him, he would get the same verbal negative from me, the ah sound. All right, and I would move him back into this position. I would put him, so I would physically push him down into a down in this position here, and I would repeat it. So I would repeat the exercise so that he learned that the next time he isn't meant to get up. All right, so just give him the okay now. Okay, and there he goes. Good. He also does a twist as well, so you can tell him to twist. Monty, twist. Good. So that's just a little whip around of the hand. All right, and you're going to give him a treat. Let's just do it again. Twist. Oh, good. So you can see how he really loves to go around. He's also doing a roll over as well. All right, Monty, roll. Oh, down, roll. Good. Good boy. So you push him into a down first, and then just roll him over. He'll also give you a paw, paw. Good paw. Good. Like that. And then you can reward him. Lovely jubbly. Okay, good boy, Mons. Alright, so whenever we go out the front door with him, we're actually going to make him sit. So what we want to do is just stand here basically until he sits. If he doesn't obviously sit, you're going to use the wait command. That's the one sort of maybe a bit of confusion when we actually ask the dog to sit the way I've trained it. is that I say wait instead of sit. That's because a sit and a wait is the same thing. So once you've told a dog to sit down, it basically means sit and wait in one command. So that's why I just cut straight to wait. It also, because other people will ask him to sit and they won't always reinforce the training for you. So maybe a stranger will come in the house and ask them to sit, and let's say he didn't sit, they won't then follow through that training for you, and it starts to weaken the training. So we just use the wait for him. I want you to do this with him regardless if you're putting him on the lead or not, okay? So if he were just to be coming to the front door, for instance, you can open the door, he'll stay in that wait, you can repeat wait to him there, wait, wait, wait. Alright, you can check to make sure there's nothing going on outside, alright, and then you can release him with the okay. We're actually going to pop him on the lead though this time, alright, just so we can go through it. He must stay in this wait position until you pop the lead on, so make sure you come underneath him there and gently pop it on in there. You can give him a little stroke. If he was then, and sometimes dogs will, when you clip the lead on and when you pick this lead up, they will sometimes stand up because they think, oh, we're going out for a walk. So what you want to do, if he does do that, is just repeat the command, wait to him, so he stays in the wait. Alright, from here, because we're not actually going to release him straight out the front door, we're actually going to tell him to heel, because we want him to heel from this point, i.e. walk next to me out of the front door. I'm going to give him the command heel, and we'll talk a little bit about the heel work when we go outside. Heel. Right, so we're now going to talk about the heel work, and when we do heel work with him, we're going to make sure he walks on the left hand side of us, alright, and we're going to hold the lead in our left hand. There is a loop that goes on this lead here, alright, halfway up the lead, this loop here in the middle. There is one at the end as well, alright, but it's the middle loop here, and I want you to basically hold it somewhere on that middle loop. So somewhere in the middle of your hand, alright, it's going to go there. I actually usually will put this tiny loop through my sort of 2 fingers there. I know I've got it in the centre, alright, and that's how you're going to hold it. You're going to hold it nice and relaxed beside you like this. And what you're never going to do is use this hand to correct him. Alright, all the correction is going to come from this hand and also from your voice. You don't ever use the lead itself to correct the dog at heel. So he's obviously sat next to me now, so I'm going to give him the heel command again as we walk off. Heel. So we walk off with him like this. Alright? The idea is that he should never pull you. He doesn't have to he doesn't have to walk directly by you all the time, i.e. his leg doesn't have to be lectured to your side all the time. Alright, that's how some people will train heel work, but it's not a realistic heel work. This heel work should last you, no matter what you're doing, no matter what distractions are there, it gives the dog a bit more freedom to go back and forth. So as you can see, he's walking lovely there next to me, completely loose on this line. Your left arm should be loose all the time, alright? Don't ever kind of move it. A lot of people, when they do heel work, they're trying to do this with the dog. They're pulling them back like this, alright? That isn't how it works. The way it's been trained is that he should respond to a steady command and also a touch command. If he starts to walk a bit further from you, yeah, he's going to turn around here a minute. If he starts to walk a little bit further from you, you can give him a touch correction and using a steady. So as you do, you'll say steady, like that, and you're literally just going to give him a little sort of prod, just basically, let me turn you around a bit, Mons, around sort of this area, okay, or in here, or on the front there, with a couple of fingers, alright, in this area, by the chest, by the neck there, alright, but that's how it's going to go, in about there, nice and firmly, with the steady command. He's actually been trained now to the point where you should just be able to say steady, like that to him, bring your finger out, and he'll watch the hand to know that we're slowing down. Alright, steady, good boy, good boy. So I want you to use that steady if he starts to go away from you. Right, so we're just going to do a couple of corrections just so you can see it, alright, just so you know. So you'd be like, steady, alright, good boy, good boy. So you actually want him to take notice of it, so he did stop there, alright, good boy. When he starts to do it right, we would praise him with the good boy, good boy. So when we're slowing down, so if I wanted to slow down with him, I should let him know, and I'm going to use the steady command. So I'll say steady, steady, I'll stop, alright, he'll pop himself into a sit there, and then we can reward him, alright. He doesn't actually have to sit. This is something, I mean, Monty's brilliant at it, and all the dogs are trained that basically when you stop, they sit down. In order to maintain that, you have to do it every single time that you do it with him, effectively, right? So every time you want to do a sit with him, every time you want him to stop and sit, you have to reinforce it. Oh, that's right.
Dog training all right? Okay.
So every time if you want him to sit, when you stop, you must reinforce it. That means that, let's imagine that you're out shopping with him, or in the shop, every time that you stop, he needs to sit down. Now, that's fine when you do it with curbs and stuff, because you can follow that through. But let's say that we took him to Cadbury Garden Centre and walked around, and we were stopping like every 2 seconds. And you do literally need to make sure that he sits every time. Otherwise, once he starts to not do it, it won't be very long until he's not doing it at all. Alright, so follow it through if you like. If you don't, it's not a problem. If you want him to sit and he hasn't sat, all you need to do is when you come to the curb, or when you've stopped, you just tell him to wait, basically. I'll just demonstrate that for you now. So you'd heel him off here, you'd say steady, and then when you come to the curb, you would say wait. Alright, and that's it, he waits, and you give him the treat. Good, heel. Alright, so let's say we want to put him into the car now as well. If you wanted to, you could put him into a wait here. Alright, so he goes into wait before he goes in. This isn't something that I would keep up on a day-to-day basis. In fact, when I let the dogs out of the house, I don't actually leave them up. It's up to you if you want to do that or not. I would usually let them out, they'd come to the boot, I'd open the boot, and I would basically just tap the boot and say in, and then they would go in. Alright, in a more controlled scenario, perhaps that's not what you wanted to do, you could lead him out, you could bring him out, you could put him into a sit, you could open the door of the car, you repeat wait to him. Now obviously if he came out of the wait there and decided he wanted to jump in the car of his own accord, you'd have to bring him back, put him back into the wait again, and repeat it. In fact, I would even go as far as I was close to the boot, I'd put him into a wait again, and I would repeat it going wait, 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 making sure he did it, and when I'm ready, okay, and he can go in. Alright? Good. Good boy, Monty Monty. Good boy. The next stage is getting the dog out of the car, and it's the same as before, it's just going to be a no command. Alright, so if you're able to open the boot and say no, after some time we won't have to actually say the no command anymore, we're just kind of expecting the dogs to do it, but at the beginning you would always use the no command. So as I open the door, I should say no to him, no. Alright, and then basically he shouldn't come out, and you should be able to do whatever you like. You can sort your clothes out, you can put your shoes on, you can do whatever, and then when you're ready, you're going to give him the okay. Because we're at the park here, I'm actually just going to let him go straight from here rather than popping his lead on. Although you obviously, in many places you would pop his lead on. Alright, just be aware that when you do pop his lead on, it's sometimes a bit of an impetus for the dog to come out there. They they see the lead, they've clipped on the lead, they're thinking we're going to go. A lot of the time dogs preempt things, so they're like thinking, oh, we're about to go, so I think I'll go, instead of being told. We always make sure that they are told. Alright, okay, and then he can come out. Alright. Whenever you were to walk him to the park on the lead, it's always good to walk him a little bit into the grass while he's on the lead. Alright, it just maintains some of that heel work even though we're on grass. A lot of the time dogs will hit grass and think it's time to play. And then they start to sort of lose that heel work. So whenever you do it, just walk him 10 paces into the grass, and then we're going to pop him into a wait. So I'll actually just demonstrate that for you now, just so you can see it. Monty! Good boy, mate. Good boy. Good boy, wait. Good boy, heel. So imagine we've just come here, alright, you pop him on the lead, you've walked him in, and then we're going to make sure he always sits before we let him off the lead, okay? No matter what we do with the dog, we always, whenever they're doing lead work, whether it's on the lead or off the lead, every time that you stop, he must sit down, and if you release him, he must sit down. So just stop now, steady, and then wait. That's it, lovely. So I'll pop a treat in his mouth there for doing it. Good boy. Good boy. Wait. So always make sure that you can take the dog off, you'll put them into a wait, you have a look around, make sure it's safe, and when you're ready, okay, and you can go. If you want to call him back, you're going to say his name in a lovely, positive and clear way, okay? So we're going to use the word, obviously Monty, but it's just going to be given in like a very clear sort of Monty type tone. Alright, when you do that, you're going to open your arms out to him, and you're basically just going to praise him in a little bit. So I'm just going to do it for you now. Monty! Good, good boy. Good boy, good boy, and wait. Good boy, good. And there's the reward. Wait, 5. Good boy. Whenever he comes back to you, the wait hand signal is this. Okay, the hand coming up. You'll often see me doing this, both hands. It's just a natural thing for me to do. You can do both hands if you want. As he comes back to you, as he sort of gets about a metre from you, you will raise your one hand or two hands up, and that will tell him that he needs to go into a wait. He must then also remain in that wait until you've told him otherwise, okay? And then when we're ready, we're going to release him, okay, and he can go. All right? It's always given in a nice positive tone, all right? The reason we train the dog on the name and on the whistle is because the name inevitably will not be said in the same way every time, okay? And we also adjust the dog's name a lot. So Monkey, for instance, will often be called Munker or Monks, yeah? Or if there was a danger there, you wouldn't be going Monkey, you'd be going Monkey, or shout Monkey, and it doesn't sound the same to the dog. Therefore, they don't respond to it in the same way. But the whistle will always sound the same to him, regardless of how it's said. Okay, sorry, how it's blown, sorry. It will always be a clear pitch to him, so he'll always know exactly what it means. He's also been trained to come back on a whistle. So just from that, so just from the voice, good boy, good boy. Always remember to praise him in, okay, and just to give him a little bit of food as he does come in. All right, that's great. So you can do that with him. Use your sounds, use what you've got on you. Clap your hands, so you can be like that, get his attention. Good boy, Mud's coming in. Good boy, wait, good boy, good. Ah! So there's a perfect example of him coming out off the weight before I've told him to. So he must come back over here where he was originally. I'm just going to pop him into a weight there. Wait, good boy, wait, okay, and then he goes. All right. When you're out with Monty, he does kind of, he's happy to sort of go a little bit further. If he's playing with other dogs and things, all right, just keep moving is the main thing to do. Always just keep moving, all right? Don't sort of stop and wait for him to come along. He'll look up and realise that you've gone and then come on after you. If he obviously does get too far away and you need to call him on, you'll be able to use the whistle then to bring him on, okay? Because the whistle will do two things. It will do a recall and it will do a follow. So if we just watch where he is now, and we're going to turn around here and go the opposite direction, all right? So obviously, as you can see, he's kind of bounding off there. He hasn't even noticed that we've turned. All right, so we're just going to go this way. So there we go. So he's noticed we've turned now and he's coming on his own accord. A lot of people would kind of panic there that he's gone too far, he's not coming on. You can praise him for coming on. Come on in, Mons. Good boy. Good lad. Good boy, as he comes along with you. All right. Head in this direction a little bit more. Won't go anywhere now. Okay, mate, go on. Hang about. You haven't given me a treat here. Is that right, Mom? Whenever you do a whistle recall, it's slightly different, okay? Because it's basically a high distraction recall. It's there for when the dog is really heavily distracted, maybe with other dogs, or perhaps there's even a danger there, they might be running towards a road. If he's at a distance as well, because it will travel much further a distance than your voice will. So you use it when it's one of those things. We're going to pip the whistle. It's done in a blasty motion, so it's like teep, teep, teep on the whistle. And the way it should be done now is that he should respond to the first pip. But if he doesn't, just keep pipping it until the dog responds to you. You're basically looking for him to turn and look is what you're looking for. The whistle only does the attention part of the recall. It makes Monty look at you. You'll blow the whistle and he'll look at you. Whenever you are doing a whistle recall, you should be in this position. You should be down on one knee. Okay? This is how it's been trained. When you're like this is the recall. It tells the dog that we're doing a recall. They can see from a distance that we're down. It means we're doing a recall. Okay? Whenever he comes back with the whistle recall, you're going to give him a much larger amount of food. Alright, in fact, if I was to do a whistle recall with him now, I'd be giving him a small handful of food like this. In fact, that's a relative amount of food, as you can see. The reason is we need it to connect to something awesome for him. Alright, so he hears the sound of the whistle and he knows that he's going to get a massive reward from you. Alright, you're also going to praise him in, just like similarly as I did before. You'll go down on one knee, you'll open your arms out and you'll praise him like mad. Come on in, Monty, good boy, good boy, good boy. Using those of excitement when he comes in. You'll pop the food on the floor. The reason you pop it on the floor is it takes the dog a little bit longer to eat it rather than giving it from the hand. Alright, because you give it from the hand, they kind of just eat the whole lot and then they go off with it. From the floor, they tend to look around for it a little bit more. It allows you to praise him loads as well when he comes in, alright, and just keeps him around you. So in the time when he, you genuinely need to get hold of him, you'll be able to. I'll just demonstrate it for you now. Hopefully he'll go out in front of us. So, whenever you blow the whistle, you must be down on one knee first, okay? So, you'll see him go out in front of you, or there's a danger, you think, oh, there he is, he's not looking at me. You'll very quickly drop down. You'll pip the whistle as many times as necessary, so now it'll just be one pip because there's nothing really going on. If he was with other dogs and there's a massive distraction, you might have to keep pipping it 2 or 3 times. You pick up on the moment when his eyes look at you. So when he hears the whistle, he'll think that's mum, you know, dad trying to get me. He'll look. When he does, you open your arms out because that's a visual sign for him. Open your arms out, praise him in like mad. You praise him from the moment he has his eyes on you to the moment he comes back, and then he gets the high reward from you. All right, so just do it for you for in a moment. If we can get him to kind of look the other way, I'm going to drop down there. That turns him. Good boy, good. In he comes. Food goes on the floor there in front of me. All right, and we praise him like mad. Good boy, Monty. Good boy, Monty. Good boy. Excellent. If we wanted to bring him back to heel and do off the lead heel work with him here, we're gonna basically have a treat in this hand, kind of hold it like this in our hand, alright, as long as it's in this hand. You're just gonna say the command heel to him, alright, nice and firmly so he can hear it, and then you're gonna roll your hand around like this by your side. That will be the hand signal for him to come back to heel. When he comes back, you're gonna pop the food in his mouth, alright, and then you can periodically keep him in using the steady. But I'll just show you what I mean in a minute. He's a little bit further up now. Just gonna make sure I get a bit closer to him. If he is a bit further out, I would tend to call him in first and then do the heel. If he's sort of a decent distance from you, you can start to just do it. Good boy. Heel. So drawing the hand round, he knows there's food there, pop it in his mouth. Good boy, heel, good boy. So, now he is doing exactly the same things he did before, but obviously off the lead, alright? The key difference is, you will kind of periodically give him a little treat just to keep him in. If he starts to go too forward of you, you're going to use the steady and the touch command, just as you did before when he was on the lead. The only slight difference here is, sometimes we'll use a click just to keep his attention. So if he was to say trot back behind me, or maybe start to sniff the floor, I would click from my mouth and then I would give him a treat. So it looks like this, like that. So he knows that when he hears that click, he's going to be rewarded. Alright, good, up again there, that's it, perfect. Alright, good boy. Keep praising him, you know, using your voice, verbally praising him as just a good boy when he's doing it right. As you start to slow down, steady and wait, exactly the same as you did before. You give him the give him the reward there. Good boy, wait. Oh, there we go, wait. Misunderstanding of the command there, and then okay, and away he goes. Perfect. Use the off the lead heel work. Okay, mate, go on, you're fine, good boy. Use the off the lead heel work when you're just out and about with him, and perhaps you might be walking along and you'll see somebody having a picnic, for instance, or there might be a dog coming the other way who's on a lead. And the rule always says that if another dog's on the lead, you should bring your dog under control. Now, we don't need to pop him on the lead, all right? All we need to do is bring him under control. So you might see a dog up in front, like now, and then you would go heel, like that. You draw him round, keep rotating the hand until he comes back. That's it, keep going like that. There we are. So you're walking him up, heel. This tree here's your distraction. That's it, keeping him in. Good boy, good boy. You're walking past the distraction here. Alright, good boy. You've come to the end of it, steady. Wait. There we are. Reward. Check around again, make sure you are past it. Okay, and away he goes. I'm just going to go through the sit weight and the down weight for you again, just so you understand it. All right. The hand signal for sit weight is this in front of yourself. If he's at heel like this next to you, you'll turn to him like that, and you'll bring your hand across the body. Okay, and that tells him we're doing the weight. You should actually do it on the verbal and the hand signal, and just the hand signal. All right. So it doesn't matter which way you do it, although the best way obviously is to use both. The main thing is though, is that once you've given it to him, he must stay in that position until you've told him otherwise, and the otherwise is always the okay. If he comes out before then, you're going to take hold of him, you're going to pop him back in the initial position, all right, and then you repeat the exercise. So I just demonstrate it for you now. So you could call him to you like this, and you could raise your hand, all right, so there's just your hand signal on its own. Reward, all right, wait. You can draw him in again without the hand signal. Come in. Good boy, wait. Same thing there, all right, and obviously you can use a combination of the both. He must stay there, wait, 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 wait. Once he's in the position, you can say wait as many times as you like. Wait, wait, wait. You can walk the length of this field and keep him in a wait, and when you're ready, let him go, okay, and he goes. That's perfect, good boy, Mons. Good boy. Down is exactly the same, in terms of, he must do it the first time you've asked him, and he must also remain in that position until you've told him otherwise. The only difference is that the command's obviously different. It's a down command and it's a push to the floor like this. Alright, so I'll just demonstrate for you now. Monty, down. Good boy. Down. Good boy. A little bit delayed on the down there. Alright, you can give him a little bit of time to down. That's fine. Good boy. Good boy. Down. You must stay in that down until you told him otherwise. Down, down, down. Okay. Good. Come out. It's similar as well to if you were to be doing it the other way round, and you could just use the verbal if you wanted, or just use the hand signal. Alright, it's the same thing. You're mostly going to use that kind of thing for when you might be out for a walk with him and you want to stop and have a look or have a little picnic or something. That's how you would do it. You'll come along and you'll pop him into a down. Alright, and you'll keep him in that down until you want him to move. Similar thing as if you were going to the pub with him or a restaurant. I sent you a picture just the other day of us down at Costa Coffee doing exactly the same thing. We went out, we wanted to have a coffee with the dogs, we led them down, alright, they stay in that down, so same command, we'd walk them into the cafe, we'd give them the down command, we'd keep them in that down until we wanted them to move again, which is obviously after we finished, alright, and then we move on. It's a harder thing to maintain the long down because what we need to do is we need people to ignore them a lot when they're out. So for that example, when I was at Costa Coffee, a couple of the times the waitress came by and it was like, oh, what a lovely dog, and of course he hasn't got anything, not a working dog or anything, so they're sort of entitled to do that. I will very politely just say, can you please ignore him? The reason for that being that the only really way to keep them focused on you and the command is for other people to ignore them. The reason that service dogs, i.e. disability dogs, have service vests on them that say please ignore me is because they don't want people enticing the dog up. If someone was to come over to Monty and you give him a down command and they started going, oh hello mate, good boy, he will naturally come out of the down. It's very, very normal and nearly impossible to stop. Alright, so if you can, when you're out with him and you want people and you want him to maintain that down, people do need to ignore him. Or if you don't want that, you need to say that's fine, just give me a minute, and then you go okay, you let him out of the down, they can say hello to him, that's fine, and then you pop him straight back into the down again when you've finished.